as a country, we have a population where 55% of our population is between the ages of 18 and 35. In my ministry, one of our mandates is technical education, which is focused towards the young generation of this country. And we feel that when we empower this young generation, this age bracket, we would be doing something very good for the country.
Education is not a one-off program. We do appreciate what the church has done, but then we are looking into a lasting relationship with the church. We believe that when we have believers that are well educated or informed, they make sound decisions, and they'll be able to go out there and then even to get a job.
You know that when this age bracket is not empowered, then we have a situation where we'll be thinking of having a ticking time bomb, because then they will not have anything to do, their hands are empty, and then, well, an empty hand is the devil's playground. So we already can remember the war, and we know how the young were the ones that took arms. When we're also talking about empowering the youth, one of the benefits that came out of it was that the church now is supporting the ministry or our government technical institutions by giving them tools and equipment.
The church has been very, very helpful in helping us to grow the middle level manpower in terms of human capital development in line with Sustainable Development Goal 4. That is the SDG 4.
Human capital development has been a major vision for His Excellency to drive sustainable development in the country. We have a huge youth population that has been left out of development for a long time. Some have not been able to progress to university. So with the Latter-day Saints coming on board, I think it's been a great complement to technical and vocational education, trying to build the middle level manpower base.
The church, I will term them as the innovators, the change makers, the best, because the support of the church, the tools they have supported us, in other words, to bridge the gap between the haves and the have-not for our students. Our students have improved because of the support of the church. They have enabled our students to get on practical, hands-on training.
We used to teach the pupils and the students without much application of practicals, but with the arrival of those tools, now we are able to carry out a lot of practicals.
From last year of the suffer for them till the then search them for work as we use manpower. But this year we database they don't count this instrument for we for that people, because now we only use manpower in game. So they use the instrument them for work.
From where I came last year now, we're not going to get better machine read at the department, but due to the donation of Latter-day Saints, we get all the necessary machine there now, we concern carpentry and Dwedee. Get machine there, we don't make it very simple for we now for do the work.
The experience I don't get from this, I don't know the type of foundation, I don't know the type of concreting, I don't know the type of mixture, concrete, construction. So this now part the foundation. This is part foundation for the 2-story house, then the can ACR. We get step foundation, so I don't know the type of foundation they say. But we go to don't study on that construction.
In the past, people they take carpentry say na just a odd job or any other job when they say na look carpentry, but through the modernized machine they now when they come, we Latter-day Saints don't send now. don't become very sick before we are this part of these institutions.
All about technical vocational education and training is based on practical.
There's so many we can do, so many stuff we can do towards the youth, because you and I can relate that we have so many unemployed youth, and we feel that when we can empower even, let's say, 10 or 20% of our youth in this country, we would have done something as a country, as a ministry, as a government.
For the past decades, we have been doing higher education using the grammar school type of education. And with that, students go to classes or lecture rooms and they get the theory behind the technology and they get all of these things. But hands-on experience is usually very, very scarce. So we produce engineers, or we produce TVET engineers that would not use their hands to solve problems.
My experience, the past, the enrollment was not encouraging. That based on the tools donated by the church, our enrollment data for this academic year is at the maximum peak.
Learning with the equipment donated by Latter-day Saints, it has helped the institution a lot, not only in the agricultural department but other departments.
I'm doing construction. For me, I don't know for my colleagues, so for me it's going good with me because we will make her earn money from there. We make her get money from there. I help me family them. I get finance. I not be sabi lay block. I not be sabi do instruments. I not be sabi travel. I not be sabi nothing. But I sabi do attend GTI doma. I dey give all them. Now I don't sabi lay block.
I can't learn carpentry now. And then we also say, if I don't be Canada, I'm not for you to learn that carpentry at all.
At the past, it was like theory, that based on the tools donated with the support of the ministry, it is not like analysis by paralysis. In other words, what I'm talking about, analysis by paralysis. For example, this time we'll do practical. When the time comes, we don't do it. Now it's like what we say is what we do, based on the experience, the hands-on experience we have acquired with the tools donated by the church. So our students are at the maximum peak. 80% of our students are now self-reliance.
We are also focusing on competency-based education and training, where you don't only get trained, but you have the competency to do. So you get trained and you're also able to do.
I don't start, but people project and see. But when the project is I don't start. Unfinished building. We don't make this foundation for two-story. I'm proud of myself and the community. Don't make I don't educate more for fix them, after things, then right and prove them. Even call me from other area or go do some instrument in the community. So I'm glad for that, and I will tell them thank you for that.
In the past, people they take carpentry saying just a odd job or any other job where they say no carpentry. But when I don't care, I don't learn carpentry. When I go now, I don't become a trained person. I don't become a skillful person. People who can now from different angles now. They don't say if you don't learn carpentry, they can't give me job. And when I work this job, I'm going to get money and they pass me and people learn. And I give you this, I go to this, and I give you this. Yes. So this job there will not help me. I don't become a free man in society.
I have great hope because I know with the help of those tools, the aims and objectives of this institution will be achieved, and even the donors, the Latter-day Saints, because here we want to train those youth on hands-on practical so that they can also help in the economic development of this nation.
The time what happens that when we do get this support from development partners, they always do the soft support. So they come and build the skills, and sometimes if you're lucky they'll put up a structure. But nobody talks about tools and equipment, which is the most expensive bit about TVET. So if we are now getting this kind of support from the church, for me, I feel that it's a blessing.
The partnership with the church has been one that has grown rapidly within a very short period of time. And in the educational sector, we have benefited a whole lot from the church through tools and equipment, and equipping some of our GTIs with ICT related items, computers, photocopiers and things of that nature. And for the past decades,
young men and women, they are the leaders tomorrow. If they are equipped today, then their tomorrow will be better. So the Church of Latter-day Saints grabbed this opportunity. They came to GTI Moyamba and they supply, they donate computers, AC, and some equipment for different departments.
Since the previous years or last year, I don't know what is computer. I only heard about it. Only the theory that they have been teaching us. We don't know. They always say the words. We don't see it physically, but because of the help of latter days, they came with the computers. Now I can show some parts of computers. The mouse. We have the motherboard. We have the monitoring. As a young woman coming up, at least I know now what someone will not come out just to fool me, knowing the right thing and then showing me the wrong thing.
Before this time, we were seeing it very difficult. Nothing was good for us at that time since last year. But if I may say, for this year now, and we may say goods and respect to the latter days, who brought up some materials for us before this time. Why they bring in some computers, where our tutors were teaching us before this time by saying this is type of computer, this is type of computer. But for this time, why the latter days brought up these computers for us, I now distinguish between the types of computer, wherein we have the desktop, the laptop, the palm top computer, and so on and so forth. I have learned a lot this year, but last year was difficult for all the departments.
The learning environment is so nice now, and these computers, they are really helping the student. Even myself as a tutor, this computer is really helping also. You know, before and now, it's really different.
GTI in Moyamba, the students are about to demonstrate because of the lack of tools and equipment regarding their training. We are grateful to state to everybody that the Church of Jesus Christ came in handy, bought all the necessary tools and equipment that were needed, and that was presented, as it were, in the presence of all the stakeholders in Moyamba District at the GTI.
We very much value the partnership with the church as far as our own aspect of the human development project is actually concerned. And as the ministry, when we came in, we are looking at two subsectors, as the higher education sector and the TVET. When we did the comparative analysis, then we realized that the higher education sector was relatively better off than the TVET sector. So because of that, we put in a lot of premium on technical and vocational education and training.
So this fits also into the SDG 4, ensuring quality education and lifelong learning opportunities, and I think these are key. So I think we value the support of the church to our tech voc policy.
All those equipment, they helped immensely in improving the lives of the trainees.
Now the world is a modernized world. If you don't know how to use computer, you cannot go anywhere. So with the use of computer, I will know how to apply and find job in different areas.
We've been giving tools and equipment to GTI Moyamba, and then we've given the support we got also for GTI Kono, and we've just done another proposal for GTI Cambia, Kenema, and Bo.
When we did the diagnostic studies sometime about 3-4 years ago, we actually realized that there are a couple of gaps in TVETs, the technical and vocational education and training. And basically that really dealt with lack of tools and equipment, for instance, lack of practical opportunities for our various TVET institutions and so on. So when the church came in, they did their own diagnostic study as well, and we were pleased as a ministry that decided to help us on two fronts, for instance, in the provision of tools and equipment.
Before the equipment arrived, we were managing with the little we had, but it was not really easy for us because the students were ready to learn, but we had no materials, little or no materials to start with. We only started with what we had available with us.
Don't care from last year we restrained from some certain thing there. But thank God the church can help me. I dey make page boy watch, I dey dress hall, dress table. So I dey do putting as at now. The students are willing to learn and there are equipment ready for them to use. I don't important at the society because the life way I be dey live, they know they see me again and they in that life they again.
I felt so good. I honestly felt too good. We never expected what they did, so we were very happy.
Government is also grateful to what the church is doing in this country, because the church is not just working with us, but they're also with health, they're also with the military, they're also with water resources. So let me just say the church is a blessing to this government.
This partnership with the church, now that we have some of our ICT labs being equipped with computers, some of our GTI is being equipped with other equipments, we find out that it's changing the narrative. It's now allowing our products to actually go out there, not only having a theory, but having a greater part of it, the hands-on experience.
Most of our students are now attached in industrial engagement. Most of our students are self-employed. Most of our students have set up their own enterprise based on the experience they have acquired with the utilization of the tools donated by the church.
If you even learn a skill job, you go make you be somebody at the end. But not for saying only some people they don't learn, they don't get a diploma, they don't even get experience for skill, they don't even do in an office. So I call me up my friends, they make them come, or can they make them call a more skill job for more than get more experience.
As a country, we actually depend on the middle level development of our human resource, because if we just put premium on academic education, we have maybe master's degrees, PhDs in specific areas. Now that's going to be pretty difficult for us to really develop, but if we pay special attention to the middle level manpower, which is basically what TVET is doing and which is what the church is actually partnering with us to actually handle.
Now you see that we have engineers that go out there and they can not only speak the jargons, but they can actually fix things. And for TVET engineers or ICT engineers, what we need is people who can actually produce results, people who can solve problems, people who, when, for instance, you give them data to do analysis, they'll not come and tell you that this is what Excel will do, this is what SPSS will do, but rather they will tell you that this is what we are going to do, and they will get it done for you. So we have, through the partnership with the church or the interventional church, we have been able to train engineers that are fit for the market, and they can actually address labor market needs. When they are recruited, they don't go there to start to learn how to get the job done, but they actually go there to give results.
I encourage all our youth out there, learn something, empower yourself. Because when you empower yourself, you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your surrounding, you're doing it for your society, you're doing it for your country as a whole.
It doesn't mean because you have not completed higher education that you are a dropout. I want you to stop this thing called, in quotes, Brayi Bobodio. Come and learn. When you learn a skill, you have added a feather to your cap. You will become a force to reckon with in society.
For the girls, because most of the time what is happening now, we're seeing that we're having something like a paradigm shift where we see the girls are really picking up course areas that were first of all meant for men: carpentry, masonry, automotive, mechanic works and stuff like that. Build yourself up.
When you learn, it will be better for you, and you begin it to marry. So now you for strong, and now you for conscious.
You know how to move your hands. You know how to move your feet. You use your hands to do those other things like needleworks. They have a tailoring, and even myself, I'm a mining engineering student in this institute. I'm final here now.
One thing we definitely want to see moving forward again with this relationship is to continue to equip the learning institutions, like brain-to-brain capacity building. Yes, the tools are wonderful, very good work with the institutions, but then we're looking at in the future like a brain-to-brain exchange, where you have retired professors from other institutions, well learning, that will come and help to even teach our instructors and bring them up to a much higher level, so that their service delivery will be even far more efficient than it is now.
So when you train and you have the equipment, people can become empowered, they'll have the right skill sets, they can be, because we're talking of skills, employability skills, basically, so that people develop the skills that will drive national development but also empower them.
Until they have an opportunity to do practicals, it's going to be pretty difficult for them to really compete in the world of work. So we appreciate the partnership with the church to make sure that we have those students and equipment.
We are going to start engaging more vigorously, more effectively, for us to have that message going out there to our youth in this country, to the parents, and also working together with our sister ministry, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education, because remember that we have the 644. So we feel that if you do not make it for Beke, that does not mean you're a dropout. You can always come to the TVET, and now we can even get BScs in masonry, in carpentry, because we've just approved, we've just promulgated the Universities Act that has allowed us now to have technical universities. So that in itself means that TVET is not something anymore for dropouts. TVET is something that can benefit you and I know with the help of partners like the church, we can go forward.
It is often said that education is the key to development. But TVET education is the master key. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are with us, helping us to develop the master key to sustainable human development in the country.
This is going to significantly develop the human level manpower.